Hey everyone, it's your favorite tired grandmaster, Ben Finegold here. The Pro Chess League just ended about an hour ago, and we were very fortunate to be victorious. The St. Louis Archbishops won their match against the San Diego Surfers by the narrowest of margins, 8.5, 7.5. And probably about half the games that were played by all the players could have gone either way, and did. Um, so I'll make I'll make all 4 videos before my round tomorrow. I'm here in St. Louis, and I'm playing in a norm tournament starting tomorrow, where the average FIDE rating I think is about 2460, and there's 10 players. So probably my next 5 or 6 videos will be, after the Pro Chess League videos, will be on the norm tournament that I'm playing in. I think it's called the Winter Chess Classic, but they have so many norm tournaments in St. Louis, who knows? Anyways, that's why I wasn't making my video earlier today because, well, I flew to St. Louis, and I'm at the Chase Park Plaza, and they have pretty good internet here, so I can make videos. Okay, so in the first round, first game of the match, I played Keaton Kiewra, who's about 2450 FIDE, slightly less than my rating. I had white. And he plays the Queen's Gambit Declined and the King's Indian. I didn't know which he would play, so I didn't really prepare for either one. And here, I decided to play something I used to play a long time ago, which I haven't played lately, Bishop f4. I normally play the classical with e4. Occasionally, I play Bishop g5, which is or was a favorite move of my teammate, Varakobian. Okay, well, I just want to play e3 and develop my bishop on f1 and castle. And if I play e3 right away, that would block my bishop. So bishop f4, bishop g5, both reasonable moves. Black could do a lot of stuff here. Black could even transpose into a Grunfeld by playing d5. That's a little bit unusual because he already didn't play the Grunfeld, so deciding to play it now would be sort of strange. It's possible, though. I faced it. Okay, so d6, e3. And black has a lot of ways to play here. Black can play knight h5 to try to get the 2 bishops. Black can try to play e5 with a variety of ways, knight c6 or knight bd7, queen e8 or rook e8. And he decided to play c5, which I think is best. I've had this position before. I've played d5 and bishop e2. Decided to play d5 this game. Now it looks more like a Benoni. He thought a while here. Decided to play for b5. So he played knight a6. Knight c7, played h3, so my bishop would have the h2 square. A6, rook b8, and I castled. So he can't play b5 now unless he wants to sacrifice a pawn, because I have too many guys on b5. Played bishop f5, and pretty clearly wants to play knight e4, and I prevented that with knight d2. Now, when I played knight d2, I realized he could play b5, but I really didn't see a better option. I don't want him to play knight e4, so knight d2 seemed right. And if it's my move now, I'll get to play pawn to e4 with a nice advantage. The reason he could play b5 in this position and not in the previous positions is because my queen on d1, which heretofore was defending the d5 pawn, is now not defending the d5 pawn. And since he has 2 knights on the d5 pawn, if I ever take with the c4 pawn, then my d5 pawn is insufficiently defended. And I really don't want him to play knight takes d5 because my bishop's on f4, and that would just gain further tempi for him. Okay, so e4. I'm sorry, I traded first, and then e4. Bishop retreated. And for some reason, which I actually don't understand, the engine, which I looked at after the game, not during the game, prefers queen c1 to queen c2, but don't know why. Anyway, it thinks white's a little bit better in any case. So, okay, he traded. It's opening the file for his rook. Now he wants to play knight to d4, attacking my queen, and the knight's really good on d4, so we trade that. Now, it's possible that my b2 pawn could become weak, because eventually he's going to take my knight on c4, and his rook on the half-open file is putting pressure on b2, as well as his bishop. Well, that didn't work. As well as his bishop on g7. So I played rook a2, and I get off the diagonal of his bishop. I defend the pawn. I prepare to double. He Traded and played knight d7. And throughout this is move 19. Throughout the game, the computer either says it's equal or white has a tiny advantage. White has the 2 bishops, but black's pretty solid. Okay, I played bishop to d2. I thought that would control some of the queenside squares. He attacked my bishop. I could let him take, but I'd probably lose a pawn. So retreated. And queen b6. Bishop went to c3. And here I think he made a good move. I don't know if the computer likes it, but he played the move knight to d7. I think it's good for black to trade these bishops because his knight will have access to the dark squares. I won't have the 2 bishops anymore if I trade bishops, and my b2 pawn will be weaker because my bishop's not defending it. But okay, there's not much I can do about it, so I played rook a1, doubling rooks. I thought he'd probably either take my bishop or play queen b3. Again, this is a 15-minute game, so we think things in a fleeting way, and then we forget about them. Played bishop d4, which is an interesting move. Rook a6, queen b3, and the computer says this is about equal, I think. And in this position, actually, after knight f6, I wasn't so sure about this, but the computer wants me to take the pawn on e7 and let him take on c3, and it actually prefers white here. Both sides have advantages. Obviously, black has a protected passed pawn, but his d6 pawn could become weak, and I could get a passed pawn in the center. So this is interesting. I decided to play more solid with the move c4, and we traded e-pawns. And here I thought I had a nice advantage. I still like white, but probably not as much as I did. He played rook b1, and I thought his knight was getting trapped, although I wasn't too sure because by this point we had like 3 minutes. And after rook c1, now the engine doesn't like my move, and since my move didn't work out at all, I guess it's right. It wants me to unpin my bishop immediately by playing something like g3, and then I assume king g2. And my bishop's not pinned anymore, then I can go after the d6 pawn, I guess. Instead, I tried to win his knight. I played rook e3, and I thought wherever he moved his knight, I would pin it. So he moved it to b1, which I expected, and I pinned it. Unfortunately, this pin does nothing. He just plays rook b8, and I can't do anything. So if I want to take the pawn on d6, which I do, I have to play rook a6 because my other rook can't go to e6, and then I would be unpinning his knight. And his rooks are active. If his knight's not pinned, he would play knight d2 winning because my bishop is pinned. Okay, as I just said, my bishop is pinned, so g3 to play king g2, and rook up. And now I realized if I played king to g2, I wasn't sure what to do about him doubling rooks on the 7th rank. So, yeah, now if I play rook f3, for example, and then knight d2, and you can see that black's pretty active. Okay, so I sort of bailed out here. I played rook f3, and my idea was if I could move again, I would play like rook a8 check and rook a7 and try to win his f-pawn. It seems like black has more than one good way to play here to draw. He could play rook takes f1 and then knight d2 check. What he did was fine. Knight d2, and again, this is about equal. I think the computer doesn't like the move knight d2. I think it moves the knight somewhere else. But okay, this is all about equal anyway. And nothing much happened. We just traded everything. And this is pretty drawn. He offered me a draw around here, and I declined, but there's no winning chances, really. It's just a draw. Okay. Trying is the first step to failure. Okay, so that was, we agreed to a draw here. That was my first game. Pretty reasonably played. I think at my absolute peak, the computer said I was up 0.5 at some point, and maybe he was up 0.1 or 0.2 at some point. But I think the game was a pretty well-played draw, considering it's a 15-minute game, and, we're not rated 2800. We didn't really make any bad moves, maybe some inaccurate moves. I never played Keaton before, even though I've been in a lot of tournaments with him. We've never gotten paired, as far as I know. I think my son's played him, too. So that just goes to show you. Okay, and that was round 1. Wesley So, of course, is our board 1. And this match, Var Akobian was board 2. I was board 3. Nicholas Rosenthal was board 4. So in the first match, Nicholas lost and Wesley won, and I drew, of course. Var played a nice game against Michael Brown and had a winning position and somehow forgot about the clock and lost on time. He was actually surprised when he lost on time. He thought he had some time on his clock. He said when his time ran out, he thought he had about 10 seconds left at that point. So after the first round of the match between the St. Louis Archbishops, my team, and the San Diego Surfers, we were down 2.5, 1.5. And at this point in the league, after 5 rounds, San Diego has 5-0, and we were 4-1. So we were in first and second place in the division, and we're fighting for first place, of course. All right, I hope you liked that video. My games were all long and complicated, so it's gonna be tough videos for you kibitzers. I want to thank everybody who's donated so far. We've received over $1,000 in donations. Of course, opening a chess center is not an inexpensive venture, and we don't really have a patron, so you guys are our patrons, and we have a goal, and we're sort of on target for the goal. We want to raise a lot of money, so we're able to have nice things at our chess center. So please go to our website, www.aclchessclub.com, and consider a donation. And maybe you could even give your opinion on things we could do to improve our website. Our webmasters, I am Eric Rosen, who did a really nice job, I think. Of course, we're not open yet, but we've narrowed it down to 2 places, and I think we've almost narrowed it down to 1 place. The negotiating is starting, and it's going to be in Roswell, which is a northern suburb of Atlanta. And if anybody who knows the Atlanta area, we're near a big highway called 400 and Holcomb Bridge Road. If you know that area, our chess center is going to be less than a mile from that intersection. So it's going to be awesome. We're going to open in September, and I'm going to keep making videos. I'm going to keep playing in the Pro Chess League, keep playing in Norm tournaments in St. Louis, keep doing commentary, and I'm going to do about 95% of my work at the Chess Center in Atlanta and then the Chess Center in St. Louis. All right, follow me on Twitter, Facebook. I'm Ben Finegold, and I'm also Chess Club and Scholastic Center of Atlanta. Please like and subscribe, and give your interesting comments. And please donate. The more you pay, the more you learn. Thanks a lot, guys. Bye-bye.